Wonderful good day, ladies and gentlemen, and we are still in the Precious Metal Summit Europe and in our interview marathon. And with me here today is now directly from London, Loncor Resources and John Barker, the Vice President of Business Development. Good morning, John. How are you?
Good morning, and welcome to everybody.
Thank you very much for taking the time. My last interview partner was 1 o'clock in the night, so for you it's a little bit more comfortable, I would say. Loncor Resources. What is the company about? You guys are working in the DRC in Africa.
That's right. We have a very experienced team working in the DRC, and I know everybody says experience, but our CEO has operated there for 30 years through 4 presidents and collected gold assets all the way through. Our president, that was Arnie Kondrat. Our president, Peter Cowley, has discovered close to 30 million ounces in Africa, 17 million ounces in the DRC. So we're in the DRC. We're up in the northeast DRC, and I think significantly, for those who don't know the DRC, we're 220 k's away from the Barrick-managed Kibali gold mine, a real success story for Barrick. I mean, to give you an idea, they last year they produced over 800,000 ounces at Kibali at around $700 an ounce all-in cost. So that shows you what can be achieved in that part of the DRC. So that's sort of where we are and what we're actually up to, looking for gold in a relatively underexplored gold belt called Ngayu. We dominate the Ngayu Belt. I'd say we're arguably the cleanest gold play in the DRC. So we have Barrick as a JV partner over 60% of the ground, or approximately 60%, 2,000 square kilometers. Barrick have started drilling. They've actually been a partner for about 4 years. It was when Randgold were involved. So they've started drilling after having 4 years of assessment. They said initially they said 6 tier 1 targets to drill, but that fluctuates. And they've been active now for almost a couple of months.
Yeah. Okay, super. So how did it come that, let's say, a small company like yours became a joint venture partner of Barrick? First question. And second question, let's say, what is the game plan for 2021 with that joint venture?
Yeah. Well, as I say, it was Randgold who came, and of course, Randgold actually started Kibali gold mine as well in many ways. So it was Randgold that saw the potential of Ngayu, and the reason being the geology, the banded ironstones, it's very similar to Kibali, and it's got a historic, a lot of workings through there. The Belgians mined it in the 1920s. It's similar to lots of areas right the way down to Geita in Tanzania. So they like the area. And it makes sense for them too to have a Kibali 2, as we call it. And again, work off it makes a lot of economic sense. So Randgold came in and they looked at various areas of interest, and as I said, assessed it diligently, and then here we are. But they've got two drill rigs. They're going to be drilling a number of targets, and what they tend to do is put a few holes in to work out the basic geology, stratigraphy. And if they see something exciting, then they'll concentrate on it. So we believe that they're in a very exciting place currently, close to Bakpao. And we believe that we should get some very interesting results out, seeing the preliminary drill result core within the next few weeks. So we're very excited about where that JV is currently, the deposit. And as I say, they're likely to be drilling there for, we're not sure the exact time, they're in control. But they can get up to 65%. And with a pre-feasibility, and then once you get to feasibility stage, they get to 65. We don't have to contribute up to that point. Anything's too small, it comes back to us, any project, so for free. And anything bigger, we then have to contribute ourselves from feasibility onwards. So that's where the JV is, and I'd expect continued news over the next 12 to 24 months from there.
Okay, super. Perfect. Then I saw also on your website you have an inferred resource of 2.7 million ounces approximately, and you have another 600,000 indicated. And as I see, so the target would be in the next, let's say also 2021, the target would be to raise that to where?
Well, completely separate to the joint venture with Barrick, we have our own ground, which are the ounces that you're talking there. And we hope to take those ounces in total, because we control actually more than what you mentioned. We control 3 million ounces of inferred and 0.6 of the indicated. We hope to take that figure to around 5 million ounces within the next 6 to 9 months. And that's through a drilling program at our main project called Dumby. And to put it, Dumby, we own 84.68% of a Dumby. It has 2.19 million ounces, open pit at a grade of 2.35. Very similar to that excellent grade at Kibali, which is giving them such fantastic margins. So we have a drill that started there at Dumby. We've got a drill program to access what we believe is infill drill areas, fairly high probability ounces, which will give another 500,000 ounces of open pit, taking us to about 2.5, 2.6 open pit, and then drilling underground to add another million ounces of high grade. So we have exciting times at our own project, Dumby. So a lot of news coming out over the next few weeks from the Barrick, from a Dumby drilling, but hopefully that will come back quickly. And then after that, a Dumby drilling, we hope to move to a scoping study or PEA fairly rapidly. And that will be early next year to give an indication of the value of our own projects.
Fantastic. So do I understand that right? That you want to bring, let's say, your own project in production within the next years, and also do the joint venture with Barrick, which might be hopefully also an additional production where you are, let's call it, the junior partner.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, the time scale is 5 years plus before you get towards production, of course. Even we're all aware of that. But certainly we should have a preliminary assessment at the beginning of next year for ourselves. With Barrick, they go at their own pace. So we rely on information from them. But again, we know that they're in very, very prospective ground that they're drilling currently. So we're sort of in their hands. But we hope good news will be coming from that. But I think that for us too, the excitement, apart from those things, we also have other ground very close by to a Dumby. Obviously, you want to try and create a mining district, and it's early stage, but we'd hope to drill that soon. And then other areas that we own 100% called Macapella, which is over 1 million ounces of indicated and inferred, high grade again, which we'd like to drill as well. So we have a lot of issues, and I suppose for us, I'm an analyst by trade, so I try and put some sort of value on some of this, and against a peer group, we look like we have outstanding value. We have to be careful what we say, of course, but we're sitting around $14 an ounce of resource, and our nearest competitor is $24, $25 an ounce, going right up to $200 an ounce. You can look on our website at the presentation. So we believe that you're buying all this sort of optionality of these events that are going to happen at what we think we're undervalued, and I think that's because it's just not known as a story. We're just emerging, and the news is just starting to flow out.
Okay, super. So before we talk about the DRC and also ESG, of course, question is how much money do you have in the bank currently, and how long will it last?
Yeah, well, we raised just 2 months ago 5 million Canadian, and that was specifically for the drilling that we're starting at a Dumby. And so that drilling will end in a couple of months, and at that point we'll be looking again, hopefully with good news, of course, and a reflection of that in our share price. We will require more money to move on to the PEA scoping study and any other drilling that we want to do. So yeah, we will need to raise some more money towards the end of the year for sure.
Okay, good, super. So, question to the DRC, of course. What does it look like today? Because we all know that, let's say, a little bit of negative imaging was in the media. But I would say, well, as I always say, this is more on private companies probably, because when you are a listed entity, you really cannot afford any bad media with ESG. So what is the situation with you down there? Obviously, you have Barrick as a joint venture partner, and I can imagine that Barrick completely 150% complies to ESG down there. So what is your take on DRC and on the ESG measures?
Yeah, well, I think firstly, the DRC, people must remember how big this country is. It's about a quarter of the size of the US. This is not a small country. So, and where we are within the country, the easiest way to say what it's like is look what Kibali is doing. And I think look what Barrick's doing. They're not sort of restricting themselves and being conservative in their approach. They're actually driving forward. In fact, in a release just the other day on their quarterly results, they said that they're focusing on other areas, which is essentially our area for exploration. So that's, not a country that's scared of the future of And I think beyond that, if you look at the list of names that's now getting involved, I think one of the most recent names was Tesla getting involved. Linking up, and you have China, Moly, molybdenum, and Ivanhoe, of course, which I think within the next 12 months we'll be talking a lot about their project in the DRC as it comes into production. So a lot of positive things happening in the DRC. You're not seeing people holding back because of fears in the DRC. We almost have the feeling like it was in Ghana when Ashanti listed. Nobody knew too much about the place, and then Ashanti listed, and then there was an upwell of juniors coming through, and then the value emerged. And hopefully we see that happening, the early stages of that happening in the DRC. We have to do things on the ground historically. You mentioned the sort of projects. We're a very small company, but we have built a clinic, we built schools, and we look to continue with both of those. And I think as we develop, it's necessary to build infrastructure as well, which will all be part of that sort of CSR responsibility. And as you say, we have Barrick doing things within our area too, which will be positive for the infrastructure there. So we're very cognizant of our role in the community, which is very necessary to drive a company forward.
Yeah. Okay. Super. Let's assume that you can drill the next year fully, that everything goes the nice way. How many meters do you think you can achieve approximately? I know it's a forward-looking statement. And let's say, what would be for you the most important target to be reached next year?
Well, look, our drilling program currently is Adumbi, and it'll be 7,000 to 9,000 meters in that range. And then at that point, we have to sit back and reassess. Do we want to push Macapella, which looks really excellent? Do we need to do more infill, etc.? So that's our short-term target, which will take us 6 months, maybe less on the drilling. And then, as I say, we've got the scoping study. So at that point, we'll be reassessing. Do we need to do more holes? Do we need to do Macapella? Do we need to look at the new geology that's emerging, should we say, at Imbo East, along from Adumbi? So I can say the 7 to 9,000, 7 to 10,000 in the next 6 months plus.
Super. Perfect. Well, John, thank you very much. That was interesting first insight into your company. And keep fingers crossed that you really can drill, that the labs are also back in faster turning times, I would call it, and that this COVID-19 thing is not hitting us all too hard within the next 6 to 9 months. And I'm pretty sure we will hear a lot more good news from you guys.
Great. Thank you.
Super. Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was John Barker, the Vice President of Business Development of Loncor Resources. And you heard it. Barrick as a joint venture partner, this is really a big thing, but also they have their own big project with over 3 million ounces already here in the resources. And the company is financed so far for the next big drill program, 7 to 9,000 meters they hope to achieve next year. But of course, the company needs again somebody then for a scoping study and a PEA, of course, also. But it looks really promising from our side here, because we have like 2 production scenarios for the next years. This is what we like. And the DRC is not easy, but it looks like they have the right partners and do the right things. Check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.